Okay, Scott, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a huge horror fan, so anytime I get to talk horror and horror films, I'm 100% down.
Nice. Yeah, me too. Me too.
So like the first thing I wanted to ask you is like you have a new horror film that's out or well it's coming out, and you write and direct it. So what inspired you to want to write the film and make it?
I think it was around the time when Paranormal Activity came out. I had seen Blair Witch before as a younger kid, and we all thought that was real. And when Paranormal came out, yeah, when Paranormal came out, it kind of gave me those same feelings. I was much older at the time when Paranormal came out, and I got to see it in the theater around Halloween 2009. So I basically just went home and was like, man, this found footage thing. And I don't even know if we were really calling it found footage back then, but I was like, this found footage thing is kind of cool. It's, first person POV, in world camera, like for a horror movie is a great delivery device, to really put the audience as kind of like a fifth character, so in the story. So essentially I just went home and I just started, kind of writing as quickly as I could. I'm a very slow writer. It usually takes me a very long time, but this one was coming together very quickly. And we went out and basically everything I'd done prior was on film. Digital cameras had just came out.
Okay.
HD high definition had just came out too. That was a new thing. So we got us a fairly cheap high definition Sony camcorder and went out and shot what we call V1, which was called Malevolent at the time, in 2009. Yeah, and that was in 2010. No, 2010 is when we shot it. And yeah, we knew we had something there, but it wasn't a movie worth showing. We knew we had, because it's basically me and four kids running around with a video camera for months on end, just trying to make something feel real, essentially. And then what it turned into today is something completely different than what it was, back in 2010.
Oh wow. So so like why did you like what why did you feel like now was the right time? Like it seems like the film has been trying to be made for like a little over 10 years. So what made you choose now as like the right time to put it out and hire like different actors for the roles?
Yeah, so it was really that around 20 after we shot that first version, found footage films became very popular and the market just got saturated and studios were just greenlighting films left and right. And so we were hoping we could get something done in time to kind of be part of that. And we had some involvement with a couple companies as well. The issue is we didn't really have a product worth kind of viewing until around 2016. And unfortunately, the whole found footage theatrical market just died. And basically, people were either getting tired of seeing them or studios were getting tired of making them, one or the other. I think it's a combination of both. So we had to go back to the drawing board and figure out a different way to kind of deliver the found footage to the audience to make it seem a little fresh and just more palatable to a general broader audience. And so we went back in and started shooting another version that we entitled the Malibu Tapes. And that was still a little too found footage-y for most people because, there were so many movies being done. I think right after we did that, like 5 or 6 movies came out. They were called whatever tapes, right? The Lost Tapes, the Vatican Tapes. It just kept happening. And so we were like, okay. So we went back to the drawing board yet again. And then at that point in time, that's when kind of I was like, well, I don't have to play by all the rules now. If I can kind of bury this found footage movie, not bury it, but if I can kind of put it inside of maybe a ghost hunter show, because those were very popular at the time, and then make them paranormal investigators, because paranormal investigator things became very popular. And I
Yeah.
was like, and then we can put that inside a traditional horror movie. And so when we finally finished that, we didn't really know because it was such a Frankenstein, I guess you can say, of all these different pieces we had put together. I didn't know if an audience would, if they thought it was too slow, too fast, they didn't like it, or, it would come across as too many elements going on. And so we did the festival circuit for about a year and a half. And we ended up winning a whole bunch of awards. And so and the reception was good from critics too. So we were like, okay, it's time to release this out into the world. And so finally we're here, about 3 weeks away from releasing this thing out to the world. So we feel pretty good about it.
Sweet, nice. I, was there ever a period of time like that? I mean, you've been making this film for a while. Like, was there any period of time where you were just like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. I don't, do I want to make this?
100%. In 2010, when I was doing it, it was kind of like a fun thing because I really truly love found footage. I love found footage films, and I wanted to attempt to make one. I wanted to mess around with digital because I'd only been doing film prior. So, and then over the years, I mean, there's numerous, millions of times that I just wanted to quit and give up. Just because, it's hard to work on. I mean, it's a third of my life basically that I spent making this film. So, it, looking back on it, I could definitely say that, I would have loved to have given up, but, over the years, so many more people get involved, and you're responsible for so many more people, from investors to cast members to actors, that like, hey, they don't want to put in all that hard work and then the movie not come out, right? So you owe it to a whole lot of people. And also just the independent film game. It's like, you got to understand that persistence, dedication, drive are the keys to making it in independent filmmaking, because, it's not just some studio blindly greenlighting a movie and here's $50 million, go out and make it. It's blood, sweat, and tears, and it's years of, really trials and tribulations, and really, having a support of a whole lot of people that are counting on you to come through. So at the end of the night, you can't really go to sleep unless you say, hey, I got to get this done for everybody, not just me.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. And like the cast you have for this version of the film, like the cast you have for this movie is like really awesome. And I was a huge Teen Wolf series guy, so I saw Dylan. Dylan is in the movie, and how did you wind up finding like Dylan and the rest of the cast?
Yeah, so the original cast members from the found footage portion, the boys that go missing, that was like a kind of an American Idol type talent search where we wanted to cast a whole bunch of unknowns so the audience wouldn't recognize any of them, and it would feel a little bit more real, like they really were kids that went missing. And then with the newer four kids, Dylan, Robert, Valentina, and Rebecca, they were all either direct friends or friends of friends. So we didn't have a lot of time to do casting, and so I needed people that I could trust. And so Dylan, I knew I could trust, and Robert and Valentina and Rebecca, I knew I could trust. And we got very lucky with Dylan because it was like right when he was getting through with a season of Teen Wolf, and we were able to get his schedule in, so it worked out perfectly for us. But yeah, just friends of friends, and just, again, people you can trust when you don't have the time or the money to have a big audition process, or even rehearsals. We didn't really have rehearsals for this either. So, when you don't have time for that, you got to kind of cast people you can trust and people can do the job. So yeah, I was very, very happy with that.
Wow, okay. And where did you wind up shooting the film at? Like, was it in a whole bunch of different areas, or was it one area?
So, B-roll, what we're calling like just the basic backdrop of the film, is all Malibu, California. But when you talk about our central locations, the caves, the one main cave is a set built out in Santa Clarita, which is near Six Flags, in the Valencia area, just out about an hour north of Los Angeles. And that cave was built for a TV show called Weeds. And then, yeah, I guess it was like, I haven't seen Weeds in a while, but they built it, and then we just kept using it and using it and using it. So over the years, we kept building onto it and making it, kind of twist and turn. And So a lot of it was shot in that cave, which is a straight up movie set on a what we call a movie ranch, you know, where there's like a gladiator dome over here and there's an army base over here. The Iron Man village was right next door. So the village where like in the opening scene of Iron Man, where the big shootout scene is right next door. So that's a movie ranch for people who don't know what kind of a production ranch is. And then the other cave, the cave that's kind of featured in the more open space, is the original Adam West Bat Cave right below the Hollywood sign up in Bronson Canyon in Hollywood, California.
Oh wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of things have shot there, but it's really crazy to think that that cave is literally right below the Hollywood sign. You know, a lot
I
of people don't
didn't
know
know
that, but it's
that.
if we would have stepped outside that cave and pointed the camera up, you'd just see the word Hollywood right there. We always thought that'd have been funny to have that in the movie. Like, oh, we're not really lost at all. We're in Hollywood, you know, something like that.
And was there any scene from the movie that you had the most fun shooting?
Hmm. I would say anything with um I would say, oh, that's difficult because you know, we shot with like 30 different cameras over a 10-year period with all the different technology. So I'm a kind of a tech nerd. So there's a lot of gadgets and stuff that we got to use that no one else got to use, or something that was like a prototype or in beta. So a lot of my stuff would be technical based, but I would say anything with like Doug Tate or Troy, the two who played the creatures, any of that stuff, because while you're shooting it in a dark cave, and we didn't have a big crew, so it's not like a whole lot of people standing around, you know, it can get a little claustrophobic and a little bit freaky. So I think those are the ones that I could feel the scare kind of while we were shooting. Usually it's not until post and you got the score and all the sound design and it's the sounds and everything that makes things scary. But there was certain things that those guys did once they were all in their prosthetics that was pretty scary. And just starting to work with the glow sticks and stuff like that, the green and blue colors, to not make the cave feel so kind of drab and like just brown and dingy and just kind of standard. Those are the things I probably had the most fun doing.
Wow, okay. Well, this is a horror film that you definitely stuck with throughout the years. You're passionate about it. So, what do you love most about finally putting the film out?
I think just that, just what you said, finally putting the film out, you know, I think it's really just that. Honestly, it's getting to see it in film festivals and theaters. Like we went to a lot of different film festivals all across the country. I got to sit in movie theaters with people and just have a conversation about, you know, horror movies in general and just kind of the experience, the shared experience. Again, you know, I think these movies are just generally the best kind of movies to see in a theater with other
Yes,
people. It's like
definitely.
buying a ticket to a ride, you know what I mean? And it's so for me, I think just having it come out just to an audience, you know, for better or worse, whether you like it or not, it's out there and people can watch it. And you know, it's hard because you know, a lot of times things you do are sitting on your computer for so long.
Mhm.
And you know, it's a struggle to get those things out into the world. And then it's really trippy to see something like the trailer was playing the first trailer we did was playing in front of Satanic Hispanics for just like in the theater the other day,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's crazy to see it in the theater and know it just came off your computer like, you know, a week ago. That's a crazy kind of concept, you know. So with the way technology is nowadays and digital and stuff, so I would just say just seeing things actually come out just is good. I can't say it's a feeling of accomplishment because it feels like the job's never really over. Like this
true.
part, promoting the film, is I can tell that other independent filmmakers, it feels almost as hard, you know, as pre-production or production or post-production. It's another part that I had never really been involved in so heavily, and now that I am, I can say it's a very hard job on its own. So you know, all of these pieces, to see it come out, it does feel really good. You know, it feels really good.
And what I love like about films, like watching Halloween and all that, like, is the music, the score. And who did you wind up finding for the score?
Yeah, so for the score is a friend of mine. His name is Josh Lim, and he basically we were, and I'm really happy he got acknowledged. He did the sound design as well, and he ended up getting a lot of awards this festival season for the score and the sound design. And we pulled from a lot of kind of the Conjuring, Insidious universe, because I think for the modern films, those films, especially now with like Atmos theaters, those films just sound incredible. And so a lot of it was pulling from those aspects. But yeah, he did a fantastic job. And yeah, he's even doing my next movie that we're finishing right now. So
Okay, nice. And we are in Halloween season. Are there any Halloween themed horror movies that you like watching for the season?
oh, I mean, we watch I would say once October starts, we watch probably 2 or 3 horror movies a day. Now, this
Nice.
this 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 particular season, I'm a little bit too busy to watch 2 or 3 horror movies a day. But if you want like Halloween based movies, I like things as say horror as your traditional, just the original Halloween, plus like a movie like Trick or Treat. I
Yeah.
like Trick or Treat. That's a great little thing. And then I like things as small and family driven as Hocus Pocus. You know what I mean? I'll watch Hocus Pocus. So there is a wide range of Halloween based movies that take place on Halloween. I'd have to really, I'm a list guy. So if you gave me some time, I could make you an in-depth list of and put them in order and a reason why. But yeah, no, I mean, my favorite horror movies would be like Suspiria, The Shining, things like that. But when it comes to Halloween based things, yes, especially closer to the day, uh, I like to watch things more based around the day of Halloween,
Okay.
and I grew up a Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark kid. So I
Yeah,
love I
definitely.
love those shows. And I just bought all of those on digital. You can buy all of those on digital now, like every single episode. So I like those as well. But yeah, there is a long laundry list of films that I like to watch around Halloween.
Oh man, nice. And are you doing anything this year for Halloween? Like, are you going to any parties, dressing up?
Um, that's a good. I don't know yet. I don't know yet, to be honest with you. I'm hoping this movie is still playing in theaters Halloween, so I'm hoping to maybe go see Malibu Horror Story on Halloween.
Yeah. And what kind of songs do you like listening to? Like, what's on your playlist?
Oh, music wise. So I'm into what we call modern synthwave. So like stuff that sounds like it's from the 80s, but it's made in like 2022. So there's bands like The Midnight. There's other bands. They got a song on the last Halloween movie too called Boy Harsher. I like Boy
Mm,
Harsher, The Midnight, but I am a very broad music guy. I listen to absolutely everything from, lately I've been diving back into late 90s music that I hadn't heard since I was a kid. I've been diving back into that stuff. But yeah, I like electronic music a lot. People know that about me. A lot of my friends are DJs and stuff, and we go to a lot
nice.
of festivals. But hip hop, I mean, I even like country, to be honest with you. So I am a if you were to look at my musical playlist right now, you'd be like, wow, there's so many things that I'm listening to. But if I was to recommend anybody, it would be Midnight. And they got a song, I think, on the opening of Terrifier 1, I
Oh, really?
believe, is a Midnight track. Yeah, that opening track. Maybe it's Terrifier 2. Maybe it's Terrifier 2. But the opening of that, whenever she's putting together her Halloween costume, um,
Yeah. Yes,
that's
it's
the Midnight. A lot of people know that song if you're a horror fan. And Boy Harsher got a song in the last Halloween movie. But yeah, the Midnight and Boy Harsher is who I'd recommend checking out if you guys haven't.
nice. And what would be your go-to karaoke song if you were doing it?
Okay, so I have absolutely never done karaoke. I've been in the room a million times. I love going to karaoke. I love Koreatown in Los Angeles is one of my favorite places to go karaoke. I think it's the best. And I would say I love going, but I've actually never done it. If I was to pick a song, it would probably be something simple, like a Nirvana or a Red Hot Chili Pepper song from like the late 90s, somewhere
Yeah.
around that area. Cause those are easier to, those aren't really, you know, those are kind of low, you know, so they're, you know, not, you don't have to hit any notes. So I would probably go with one of those.
And where could fans follow you at, follow your film at, and you know,
Yeah. So the movie, for more information on the movie, you can go to malibuhorrorstory.com. For tickets, you can go to malibuhorrorstorytickets.com. We're on Instagram at Malibu Horror Story Movie, and I'm on Instagram at Scott Sloane Films.
sweet buddy. Well, thank you so much for taking time and coming on the show and doing this. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing the movie on like the big screen. I saw the screener, but I want to see it on the screen too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll send you tickets. I don't know what area you're in, but I'll get you some tickets so you can go see it on the big
Oh,
screen. Yeah,
huge.
and thanks again for having me. I appreciate it, man.
Definitely, bud. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Rocco.